coffee for a walk in the garden. Let's go take a look and see what's growing. Look what I found digging out right here by the wall. There's like a pipe and a hole. It's very old. There's bottles in here. Some kind of, yeah, I kept hitting that edge with the lawnmower. I thought it was like a piece of metal, but it's like one of those brown pipes. What's going on at Casa de Rosado? Today I am breaking ground on another portion of the front garden. Let's take a peek here. There is our St. Pasucio. I planted some by the road, and unfortunately, and also here's some zinnias here. Unfortunately, it looks like something bit some of it off at the head, so I do have some more starts going. But part of the project I've been working on ever since I've been here is planting this garden wall, and the bulbs are done here. We'll be raking back this grass and mowing that. Once they brown, you can go ahead and do that. But I do want this to be more of a natural border, and that's going to take a few more years to get going since it's a very long space. But I am digging this portion here. This is very tall compared to the rest. The rest is probably about a 10-inch height here, and it dips down to probably about 2 feet down here. So the plan is to remove some of the sod. Actually, I'm going to fill this in back here with some of the sod to raise this up, which I have been doing every time I dig and have extra dirt. I fill it in here. Just take a peek. It's like the okra is starting to come along. It gets really high sun here and kind of harsh conditions, so the young plants might have a rough go of it, but once they get acclimated, they'll be doing great. And the collards, of course, are doing wonderful, as they usually do. Look at that, sweet pea. This is, I believe, the 3rd year in a sweet pea, and I was a bit skeptical, but it seems to be doing good this year. There we go, and this is the St. Pasucio. There were 3 babies here, and it looks like something bit the top off 2 of them, and there's only a little piece of it left. And then we have some milkweed. I might just take down the sign. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what would eat the top off of that, but hey, we have some naughty squirrels. So the plan is to eventually tear down this brickwork here. I'd like to use it instead of the lattice. This will prevent rabbits, and we used to have a lot of rabbits and woodchucks that would crawl through here, but since we added the brick under here, we haven't had that problem. So we'll be moving these bricks under, replacing it with the lattice, and moving these beauties up where that 2-foot height is. I'd like to share the beauty of the plants with the neighbors here, and that's, one reason I like to put the bulbs out here. I don't think I should enjoy them all myself. I'd like to see our neighbors enjoy them too. But they're very tall plants, and will easily reach over the top of that. So this time of year it's a little easier to dig. As July, August comes around, the ground will get drier and drier, and it gets harder and harder. I have been watering it a little bit to kind of keep it diggable. And also, I can't move the irises until the fall. So I have a few people that I'm going to be dividing the irises up with. But in the meantime, we're going to put the okra here. The okra is also a tall plant that will do well here. So I've got a couple different kinds of shovels. I like to use the pointy one to initially break it, and then sometimes I can get under it, but it does seem to have some bricks or something under here. They might have obviously built up this wall, the ground, with some leftover bricks, probably from the road. I'm not quite sure what, but it's always kind of a fun thing when you get into an old house and you start digging and see what you find. Of course, we've had this marked out for all of our utilities are on the other end of the house there. So I'm gonna get digging. I originally thought they just used this as fill because I kept running into pieces here on this, side. But now that I'm seeing it's fully like formed, and I know there was a cistern on the property. Oh yeah, look at that. That's kind of a circular shape that functioned in collecting rainwater, and it was built by an engineer, and I'm sure, catching water is quite a thing. And I've removed the other side here, and actually it goes down, I don't know how deep. I'm not sure I want to even investigate that, but it is kind of fascinating, and I think that is definitely some kind of maybe a catch system for the rain. I mean, maybe this is part of that cistern, and maybe this hooked up to the street at some point. I really don't know. This was an area that I had to watch out with the lawnmower because I thought there was a piece of metal coming out. But it doesn't even look like that, really. So I'm just going to clean this up. Yeah. It's one of the things mysteries you find in old properties. Here is our corner garden plot. I'm checking it out. We had a little rain last night. It was not a heck of a lot though. It's powder dry on the surface. I've added some mulch around some plants. This back area here, we're going to take those irises, and one of the reasons I'm going to use them is that this is a slight hill, and it needs a little bit of some rhizome action from the iris roots to prevent soil erosion. So that will fill in this area very nicely. But in the meantime, I have to wait until fall. I have some okra started here. It's a tall plant. It'll get about over 2 feet. And that will go really nice with that wall. People will be able to see the blooms. At least that's the idea. I have some amaranth planted, and I can't wait till that grows. That again is a tall plant. So anything that's a tall plant I have sunk below the wall so that traffic can see through here. And I've finished digging along the end of this fence in the back side. We have the other side dug up. I have some sod that needs to be removed. But I'm thinking more peppers here. I have a lot of pepper plants, and I'm finding that the squirrels don't seem to be biting like the habaneros. I don't know if the leaf itself is spicy. I don't know. But hey, anything the squirrels don't eat is good. And I haven't quite figured out what to do with this hole. There is some glass in there. I'm going to get some proper gloves and remove it. I put some of the glass up in the wall here, but I need to get that off there. But that's just, one of the big projects I've been wanting to do for a while. It was a whole wagon cart load of sod. What I'll do is I put that in my compost pile. I flip the roots upward so it won't grow, and then I let it kind of bake out in the sun for a while, and then I mix it in. What's your favorite okra recipe? I know some people like it fried, some like it in stews. One fascinating fact about okra is that it is used as a thickening agent in stews. If you ever heard of the name roux, it actually comes from terminology used in the thickening of okra. It's an African method of thickening up a stew. So transforming it from a water base with a vegetable into a stew. And I think a typical roux that I'm familiar with is butter and flour, but a roux made with okra has more anti-inflammatory agents, is much healthier for you.